I'm ready.
Slick Tactics. Here we go.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Slick Tactics, and welcome back to another top 5. And man, can you believe 3 years ago I did a top 5 Blazblue? You know what? This may be a little bit different from the other one. Who knows? Maybe somebody will make it from the list who was an honorable mention the last one. But it doesn't matter because we also have another list because today's feature is Koeffcient.
What's going on, my dude? How we doing?
We are doing great today.
We're good. I'm doing pretty good too. Ready to talk about some Blazblue.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Cause like I don't know. Something just told me during the Steam sale. I was like, you know what? Let me check how much the Blazblue games are, and it was all basically $2 a piece. So I bought all of them, went to go play them, and I was like, and I remember why I love this game so much.
Yeah, every single one of them constantly go on sale all the time. So if you are ever interested in any type of Blazblue, you can always pick it up on PC real cheap.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start. So, number 5 for me is Ragna the Blood Edge. The main character, he was always one of my favorite characters, but slowly, the longer the game went, I was like, he okay. Like, he's the cool high school delinquent, and as a young adult, I like the high school delinquent, but now I'm just like, kind of a little bit over it, but he's still cool nonetheless, and you gotta love the jacket.
Alright, my number 5, I'm going to put down Hazama for my number 5. Now, Hazama being one of the smoothest of criminals out there, egg-loving, chain-wearing, suit-wearing, mother fifer that has green hair and loves to just piss people off, not only in gameplay but also in lore. Now, I'm not super familiar with lore, but I do know enough to call Hazama one of the coolest characters in Blazblue. He's just a sly, smooth, slick, hey, get it? Slick. Mother fifer, and I really, really like him a lot.
Yeah, Hazama got that swag.
He got that swag. He definitely do.
Okay, number 4. I gotta give it to Hibiki, who was higher on the list last year, but I don't know. I just kind of stopped using him and start using more characters. Like, he was cool for beginners, the hack and slash movement. He has some great style, and of course the whole Attack on Titan theme of him. But I don't know. I just don't have that feel as I used to have from him back then. But he still had some of the most stylish supers in the game. And I love the fact that this other player during his actual finish can actually move around in the shadows if they want to make it seem more scary when he walks up on you. But nonetheless, he's only number 4 this time, but he is still a great character. And if you ever get into Central Fiction, he's a great noob starter character.
So at my number 4, I'm going to go ahead and put Hakuman, the White Knight, the one that serves all the justice in every timeline you can think. He has the coolest looking sword, I think. It's so simple in its design, but it's long, and it can slash through any single dimension from what I understand. And that's what I like to think of it, at least. And he also, just in gameplay, he's a very patient. He's also he hits like a truck, essentially. For the longest time since the beginning of Blazblue, he's been the guy that will steal your life bar. He would be the one that would be down for the count, and then all of a sudden he would just pick up the steam and completely obliterate your entire health. And you would be sitting there asking yourself, what happened? Was that a truck? What was that? So Hakuman, 100% in lore and in gameplay, he's amazing. He's super fun to watch, and in lore, he's definitely one of the cooler characters, just because of his whole objective and his all resolve. And I won't spoil too much about the character, but I will say that he is definitely one of the cooler ones. Very mysterious until you find out what he's all about. Hakuman's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, Hakuman's a great character, which is funny because he's kind of the opposite of Hibiki. He's a great beginner character. Hakuman is not friendly to beginners because if you don't know what you're doing, he seems extremely slow.
He's very different from the rest of the cast. So once you know how to play him, he's a little bit more easier, but he's very defensive at first until he finds his opportunity to get in, and that in itself could be a little bit more challenging for most players to pick up on.
And then he's also part of my 2 favorite memes from Blazblue. The one where he does his counter, but instead of showing that little circle shield, it shows a reverse card from Uno.
Yep. And calling him the Thought Slayer. The Thought Slayer. That's him. He's the Thought Police.
Okay, number 3, 9. Oh my goodness. She's she's such a technical character and it's so much fun to use her. If you want to play close, you can play close. If you want to zone them out, you can zone them out. She just has so many toolkits and one of the first zoning type characters I ever used. So I enjoyed her a lot, especially in the story, her demeanor, her swag. She's just like, yes, step on my throat, please. And then the fact that her husband and kid are two of my favorite characters too. I was like, this is just one devastating family. But yeah, 9, her whole personality too is just, I'm tough, I'm the shit, back off or you're gonna get destroyed. It's just a lot of love about her.
That's 100% correct. She's definitely one of the toughest, baddest bitches you'll ever meet.
Yes.
So at my number 3, I'm gonna put in Relius Clover. And Relius Clover being one of the main antagonists of the series, and he is one of those characters that's very mysterious. No one really knows why he does the things he does, and he has a little bit more backstory and a little bit more lore behind the actual character itself, because before he was Relius, he was somebody else, and that whole side of him is still a mystery, but we just know that he is the best dad in the world, and he has, of course, dollified his wife and his daughter, only for Carl, his son, to be able to take the daughter and use her for combats, and then Relius takes the wife. It's a very weird story and a weird decision by Relius, but hey, he reminds me of a lot of a mad scientist. He just wants to see what he can do and the next best thing that he can create or that he can control. So with that being said, his gameplay is it's super fun to watch, just because it's just relentless with him and his wife, mother and father, just going crazy, trying to beat the opponents, and just I love the mix-ups that he can provide, and as well as just his Astral, legendary Astral, where he just goes through the entire roster. Everybody has a different animation for his Astral, and it just shows how much of a sick, twisted man this guy is.
Yeah, I remember he's one of those few characters that you knew about before you got to actually play him. And then when I found out, oh snap, we get to play Best Dad in the extended version of Continuum Shift. Cool.
Yep.
And then I got my hands on him. Like, he's not for me, but he's still a great character. I can still see the potential in him.
Definitely a weirder character to play, because he's a puppet character, so you get to control him and the wife.
Yeah, because also I was never a fan of his son either. I only tried him because, me and him have a similar name.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Screw Carl. Screw that character.
Okay, for my number 2, we already talked about 9, but now let's talk about her daughter, Coco Noe. I have loved her since the beginning of the game, because she used to talk so much shit, and I'm like, she's like one of those Twitter people who talk shit behind the screen and can't do nothing about it because you can't get to her, but then all of a sudden she stepped into the ring and said, let's go. And I said the same thing what Ragna said, oh shit, you can fight? And oh my gosh, she can fight, because she was officially the number 1 character in Corona Phantasm. Like, she was godlike. People complained. It was like, please nerf her. She was just so good. And I wasn't that competitive during that time, because I was mainly competitive during Calamity Trigger, so I didn't even know she was broken. I was just having fun with her. But oh my goodness, especially Golden Tiger Hype Beam. This girl was just a problem. They toned her down in the newest one, but she is still so much to play. I mean, so much fun to play as.
I like how
If he didn't do that correctly, he would have died. He would have gotten sucked in by the black
I'm
hole.
excited to see this combo.
Do it! Yes! Do it!
Golden
Tiger!
Tiger! Oh! 10,000 damage!
Oh yeah, did I forget that Golden Tiger was kind of ridiculous? Golden Tiger was actually kind of nuts. Back in seat. It's still kind of nuts now.
Golden Tiger Hype Beam is legit the only reason why you should ever play Coco in this day and age.
Yes.
You can definitely steal rounds and make people super butthurt just by doing a Golden Tiger guy. The proper Golden Tiger combo. Just having that behemoth behind you gives you a sense of assurity, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Especially people who don't know or used up most of their shield block. And you're like, oh, you're gonna die from this because chip damage is a monster with this height.
It is. I like her lollipop. And her scooter. Her scooter's pretty great.
Yes, her runaway with the scooter is hilarious.
I love it. All right, so my number 2 is going to actually be one that we mentioned already, 9 the Phantom. That is my number 2 character in Blazblue. And what can I say about 9? 9 is just a influential character in the Blazblue series, just because you've heard a lot about her. You hear about these weapons that Ragna has, that Jin has, that Bang has, that Noel. Everybody has these weapons, and they were created by somebody. And who is that person? 9 the Phantom. It all kind of ties back to her. She's a very important character in lore, and I really like that about her. Not only that, but she is a force to be reckoned with gameplay-wise. She is a witch that requires a lot of different spell casting memorization to take place, just because she has many different spells. Granted, the only one you need to worry about is the rock, Kunzite. It's the only thing you really need to worry about in terms of gameplay. However, everything about the character is just a lot of fun, and a lot of people hate this character because of it. She has been nerfed a couple times, actually just once since the patch came out. But even with her nerfed self, she is still super, super good.
Yes, one of the great 6 heroes and creator of the weapons. He's just an all-around great character. And I also find it funny, like, the rocks and wind tunnel blast. Oh man, you're gonna see a lot of those when you go up against her.
You're going to see a ton of that. Plus just the fact that she doesn't really care. So you know what? This cat looks pretty strong. Let's make a baby together, cat. Come on. Come with me.
And with that, here's a few honorable mentions. For me, it's gotta be Makoto. Originally, she was the number 5 spot, which is funny because her and Ragna basically switched. But yeah, she's a fun character, but she had horrible range. Her projectile was better as a shield. And she was a funny character, but also a dumb character, which is kind of make her lovable.
My honorable mention has got to be Azrael. Azrael being just this side quest, and I officially know him as the side quest because he is not only probably the most strongest figure in Blazblue, because he is a person that just wants to fight and devour. That's all he wants to do. He's just this behemoth, buff man that just wants to fight and destroy things. And on his wrists and just all over his body, those tattoos, they're all limiters. If he ever were to remove those limiters, that's what I want to see. If there's any future Blazblue games, I want to see Azrael at 100%. I want to see Ultra Instinct Azrael. But he's always looking for a challenge. He's always bored. We've never seen Azrael at his full potential. Full potential. And that's why I kind of really want to stick by this character as much as I can until they decide to do something incredibly good. People have said that full potential Azrael is better than any other character, lore-wise or powerful. And gameplay-wise, the character is just a fun... He's definitely memey because he has... because of his chaser combos, and a whole bunch of his other moves are very funny in nature. His leapfrog, his Gustav being plus all the time, and of course other things too that make you fly all over the screen. He's just a very fun character.
Yeah, now that you said Ultra Instinct, I gotta make a meme of him doing dodges now with Goku's Ultra Instinct music.
Correct. Growler, like dashes, everything. Do it.
Number 1. Now, in my last video, I said how Joker is one of my favorite villains and how Izai is one of my favorite characters from Durarara, and you put them together and you get Hazama. And that has not changed. He is still my number 1 character of all time because that dude is just a phenomenal bad guy. just the way he talks down on everybody, the way he just goes about everything, even when Hakuman's like, why are you doing this? And just gave him a whole monologue where he could have just said, because I want to. But he had to mess with Hakuman and break it down for him. How he bullied Carl and told him, like, this is the real world, kid, where you don't win. Or how he just torments Ragna on a regular basis. And then, of course, his other side of himself, Terumi. My OC was basically black Terumi, but instead of the yellow hoodie, it was blue hoodie. That guy was just an amazing bad guy. Like, it's always fun to watch a villain more than a hero, and Hazama makes complete proof of that. Because, oh my goodness. And then his whole gameplay style with the snakes, that was so much fun. Just keeping them at bay with them grappling hooks, and then he had some really cool combos, just throwing you against the wall. His super was pretty cool. They just made him like a fun character, especially the whole Michael Jackson thing. But he was not really good for noobs like that, because he was like one of the few characters who didn't have a run, and his movement game was weak. But once you master those snake hooks, your movement game was superior to everybody else's. And that was one of the reasons why I just was like, yes, Blazblue has definitely got to be my favorite fighting game series of all time. Thanks to him, Ragna, Coco, like the whole cast is great, but Hazama's got to be my number one.
For my number one, I'm going to go on record and I'm going to say that Izanami is my number one character in Blazblue. Now, before you get the pitchforks out, you start marching in and start blaming me for most of the stuff that Izanami has done, let me tell you why I like Izanami. Not only is she one of the most unique characters in Blazblue with her floating playstyle, her ribcage, her combos, everything that she does, it's very boss-like, but I also like the lore behind Izanami, aka Saya, which is the Imperator, the one that controls pretty much everything that's going on right beside Terumi, and the whole fact that she is just this crazy, psychotic, evil character, lady character, waifu character, that and she is just intimidating, to say the least. She's one of the characters that have gotten me into just playing the character and learning a difficult to use character too, because she's not an easy character by any means. She is one of those characters that require a lot of execution and a lot of time and dedication to how she works. Even though, there's a lot of memes about the character saying, oh, ribcage, I win, no more neutral. But there's more to the character than that. And I really, really like Izanami with everything, from her astral to her character to her gameplay to her lore. She's just a sick character and also a amazing villain too. I think I have a soft spot for psychotic bitches. I think I don't know. That's just one of the things that I like. Juri, I like Izanami. I don't know. I like the crazy ones. I don't know why.
Yeah, I definitely love me some Juri, but yeah, Izanami, she is definitely a crazy character. You gotta love when she do her supers and her astral finish. But all in all, I'm like, yeah, she's not a character for me, and yeah, that whole ribcage thing, oh my goodness, so many times online when I had to deal with that. I was like, no, I hate you, but I love you at the same time. Dilemmas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, that was our top 5. Tell us what's one of your favorite Blazblue characters? Is it Ragna? Is it his crazy brother Jen? Is it cute, sassy Noelle? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. Co, thank you for this top 5. This was enjoyable.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on, of course. Anytime.